So guys, it's TJ from Condemned Labs. Today we'll be going over my typical Saturday, which is glute and hammy day, here with my training partner, Corey. So I'll take you through some of the movements that I typically do during prep and even in the off season. Nothing really changes, just try and keep the intensity up as you're dieting down. And so I'll just take you through everything. So the main reason for this movement is to get a full leg development, you need to get rid of that actual thigh gap. So instead of people just having so much gap in between, doing adductors will help fill it all the way to show very complete legs. And same thing for doing adduction. It helps to actually build that kind of, I guess, glute sidewall, which I'm not going to show you, but make sure you do your abductors and adductors, or your good girl, bad girl exercise, whatever you want to call it, or the no eye contact machine, all the above.
Eye contact machine. Wait, you call it a good girl, bad girl?
Yeah.
The good girl is when you're closing your legs. The bad girl is when you're...
I figured that's fucking
So originally, what we had planned was doing seated calves first, but the machine was taken, so we just moved on to the next exercise. I do like to start with either the abduction or adduction just to warm up to begin with. Either that or maybe a leg extension. Nothing too crazy, open up the hips or warm up the knees. Nothing crazy, and then right after that, go into your biggest lift, which today we'll be doing the hip press machine, which we'll show you. That's incredible for hitting the glutes. However, you still hit quads, but we're gonna hit around, I think, 2 quad exercises, but just get good pump in. But today's primarily glutes and hammies. So after this, we got leg extensions, which that's gonna be a pretty tough one because we're gonna pretty much pre-exhaust and just get a massive pump in the quads. So stay tuned. So for this, we're just adding a band at the end to help with some of the, to help pull it down so you can force yourself to control the negative a lot more. And you'll see it's definitely a big humbler, especially when it comes to leg extensions. But for now, we're gonna start off with just single legs, just to warm up. Then on the last set is gonna be a pretty much a big drop set, but using both legs to finish 2 pre-exhausted legs before we move on to any of the heavier movements. But again, to help with that mind-muscle connection and get overall warmness of the whole entire legs. So I wish I knew single leg, but I think with the band, this is a little too much for single leg to start off with.
For me?
For me too. Because my knees were starting to feel a little tight.
Holy shit, yeah. For like a first set.
So instead, we're just gonna do together the whole time. So I'm calling an audible for the leg workout. So I had knee surgery about 2 years ago, so I had to be careful about my knees and everything. And so doing this movement, I originally planned to do a single leg extension, but with how my knees are feeling, and since I'm so close to a show, and even the off season, I still keep it the same way. If something's feeling off, adjust the movement or switch the exercise. So instead of doing single leg extensions, we're doing both legs together Still doing around 10 to 15 reps per set. Just get that blood rush to the muscles. Different vibe whenever it's off season.
Yeah.
You'll hear her moan and everything.
Okay, it is a lot. It's probably that bad. It's probably that bad.
One second, hold on. All right, we're good. I just tooted, so I'll make sure it didn't smell. Safety first. Oh, okay, never mind, it does a little bit.
Camera, good thing the camera can't pick up smells.
Yeah, training partners can. Training partners can.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have a choice right now.
Come on, stretch. Go. 10. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Come on. 10. Sit back. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Jesus.
Oh, that sucks. So we did there for the drop set was once she removed one plate, hold the stretch position for about 10 seconds, then go again for 10 reps. Then at the end, hold again at the stretch position to pretty much force all the blood and all the lactic acid just to sit in the quad. It's a very, in a good way, painful stretch, but it's fun.
Ooh, dick. Ooh, what you got there?
And some nice confined. Keep for that hydration, especially now on prep. Help prevent cramps, which anytime I train legs, especially with this person, her leg training days, you normally end up with some good cramps if you're not careful. Normally also, off season, I'll use the C Block 10 carbohydrate powder intra workout, just to make sure that I have enough carbs to actually fuel my workout throughout it, especially for leg day, whenever you need it the most. And sometimes on back day as well, because you never have too many carbs, especially when I'm trying to build up a body part. Peach iced tea is where it's at too, by the way. So the reason why I do this version of the hack squat reverse facing is right now we're trying to imitate a stiff-legged deadlift. This takes out any kind of pulling with upper body motion, especially people who just got done with surgery and they can't really lift with like the upper body. It's definitely a big helper. But the major cue for these ones is keep your core tight, and as you're bending down, make sure your hips are going back as you come down as well. Now once your hips don't go back any further, now you're just using your lower back. So you want to make sure to go all the way to where your hips can no longer go further back. And as you come up, squeeze your glutes and hams as you come up, get that contraction as well, not just the stretch. Also, another tip, don't lock your knees out. Have a slight bend in your knees. Just to help with just taking care of your knees. Because sometimes people like to lock out their knees when they're doing a lot of leg movements, but doing so can potentially pose a risk of you hyperextending your legs and not the right way. I haven't broke this out in a while.
Come on, tight back. Come on. Tight back. Go.
Feel good. Also, another tip, when using the belt, this is not supposed to support your back. It's supposed to help you. You're supposed to press with your abdomen wall against the belt to help strengthen your lower back, to help stabilize it. So don't just rely on this to help keep your core tight. So here's just a little makeshift, helper out. If your machines don't really have a handle to grasp down or push yourself into, get something like this off of Amazon. It's just called a regular daisy chain that you can, interlock it between itself to do different things with it. I just use this, pull it underneath the seat on the other side, and boom. I now have me handles to help secure myself down into the seat when doing this exercise, since this doesn't actually have legit handles to hold yourself into. Another tip for leg press, depending on how far you put your feet down, will hit different parts of the leg. So normally the lower you go, the more quad emphasis you'll have on it. Also, if you want to target a little more of the quads, push through the toes. You want to focus more through the hammies and glutes. push through the heels, just to help accentuate the actual movement itself on what particular part of the leg you want to hit. Just keep that in mind. Thank you.
Come on.
2,
Let's go.
3.
Come on.
One more.
Yep. Go. Push. Push.
Thank you. Woo. 5. Come on. 6. Come on. 2 more at least. Come on. 7. 1 more. Come on. Come on.
8, 10.
All right. Come on. Here we go. 8. 2 more. Come on. 9. Come on. Come on. Drive. 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 Nice.
You love it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure you caught feminine noises. Okay.
See, that's how you know. That's how you know you're actually training. Whenever you react like that. Whenever you lose your eyesight, or even your hearing, or you're just moaning really loud.
All of the above.
So
All the above.
did you just call yourself out and say you're not training then?
Oh no. I had to train in silence. I don't need to actually make a show.
Oh. This is
This is, I think, the first comparisons, not call outs yet. Huh.
Come on. Let's go. Come on. Is this it?
We're going to go right to the individuals. And of
Jaw?
course, the components.
No?
Let's
Yeah,
start things
I think
off
you're
with your
doing
so
first
this man is
competitor.
watching bodybuilding while bodybuilding. So meta.
I wish I was watching it. I can't, my vision's like blurred. All right, so next, after the hip press, we're doing lunges. We were originally gonna do a seated leg curl with superset with lunges. Since the seated leg curl is taken, we decided to just go ahead and start lunges, not waste any time. Just get some blood flow in. Mainly for this cue, to hit a little more of the hands and glutes. As I'm going down, I'm doing a very slow negative down, but pressing on my heels the whole time. So basically I'm coming down, pressing on the heel, and as I go up, driving through the heel and the glute area. And if you come up, kind of get a little contraction at the top. So stretch, squeeze at the top. Maybe do a little small hip thrust forward, just to drive through the glutes and the hamstrings all at once. So as soon as we're done with this and the seated leg curl opens up, we're gonna finish off over there.
being filmed.
All right, so another tip for leg training, but this is in particular for calves. So I like to do pretty much a 3-second kind of tempo. So you're going 1, 2, 3, and on the third one, you're kind of doing an extra like, kind of kip up with your heels, just to drive that extra contraction through, and then just going like a slow negative. It doesn't have to be a very slow, but very controlled. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and just keep that going through, and trust me, you'll definitely feel it deep in the calf. Also, don't forget, when doing this, make sure you get the full stretch of the actual calf. So instead of just getting just the contraction, go all the way down. Try and get that extra little stretch at the end for the actual calf movement itself. Get the full range. And now, we're gonna move on to the seated leg curls. All right, so for the cues for this lying leg, or for the seated leg curl, is I'm gonna do 10 full reps and then 5 of the bottom partial reps. The reason why we're doing a little bit more of the partial reps is that mainly the seated leg curl is more so for the actual contraction part, vice the lying is more so for getting that full stretch of the actual hamstring. You can still do it here, however, you get a better contraction while doing the seated leg curl. Another little tip is press your knees up against this pad. You'll see whenever I do this, is that I try not to have the pad go like this sound the whole time. I always try and have it locked in by pressing my knees up into the pad and then driving my heels down and getting that full contraction. See, as you notice, I kept that actual pressure. Instead of hearing it go up and down like this every time I did a rep, try and keep that pressure of the knees pressing up into the pad the whole time. Trust me, you will definitely feel it. And then also another little tip, try not to flex your calves as you go down. Try and make sure that your feet are all loosey-goosey. Don't try and flex your calves, because then whenever you're doing that, you can possibly strain a calf, which I've done it before, it doesn't feel good. So just try and keep your feet relaxed, even though it's a little harder to do. Try and just relax pretty much your bottom half of your legs while you're pulling back. Also, another tip while you're training, keep a logbook. Like for instance, for me, I have everything saved on my phone, which after my workout, I end up switching this onto an actual notebook that I have, that I log all my workouts in, keep the progress. You know, how you hear either guys like Dusty Hanshaw or even Jordan Peters chase the logbook. Always try and progress your numbers or reps. Always just try and do better than what you did your previous workout. Even if that's adding only 2.5 pounds. Because if you think about it, if you add 2.5 pounds within, well, let's say 4 weeks, that's 10 pounds already added to what you previously started. So let's say start with 135, in less than 4 weeks, you're now up to 145 on bench or something. That's still a pretty significant amount of progress. So make sure you keep track of all your workouts, and even write in little details like, hey, it was a good leg day, it was a bad leg day, and write why, so you can understand that, okay, maybe if I'm having this kind of day, maybe I could switch workouts or switch exercises to make sure that I optimize my training for that specific day or that specific body part. So So again, keep a log. Whew. So that's a wrap for leg day. Just to recap, we did adductors and abductors, seated calf raises, reverse hack squat, hip press, or any kind of leg press variation. Then we did lunges and seated leg curls to finish it off. So give it a try. Let me know what you think. Thank you, Corey, for pushing me. And Sway, the man behind the camera. And again, can't thank Condemned enough for just amazing products and definitely the quality. Not just that, but just the support that the whole team does. From everyone, from all the other athletes, all the way to the CEO, Mike. Everyone, thank you so much for all the support. And it's only gonna get better from here.